Hello, guys, and Happy New Year.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
And Happy New Year.
The AMC Plus dropped the little skit of Assad with the vodka thing.
It's a vodka.
And they released the date, which is going to be during the summer. We don't know exactly when. It could be August. Instead of April, which was what I'm pretty sure many of us hoped, thanks to Eric and Jacob leaking little things.
In April.
We're gonna have it. We're gonna get the 2026 Vampire Lestat, but I thought it was gonna be closer to the frame of time I'm currently living in. Oh, by the way, my name's Tess. I'm a Spaniard, in case you hadn't noticed by the accent. My wish for these videos is to just nerd around about the characters and what they're gonna be facing in the new season. So what has happened to them, what are my questions, and what's gonna happen later. There are many characters. For this one, I'm gonna be focusing on Armand, because he starts with an A. He's also the one I have the most questions about, because he's the most confusing one. Since he's a liar, we cannot really believe anything he says. And he's also the oldest, so he's got a larger frame of time to think about. Armand, first thing I would like to address, I am one of the people who are fully on board with the idea that Devil's Minion happened during the 1970s. I follow a girl, Autumn Brown, who also talks about this. I saw one of her videos in which she said there's no actual proof that this had happened, but that she believed it anyway. And just in case you're watching, girl, I think that we do have some evidence. The actor said things. They have referred to things during the interviews.
Well, I mean, there's Armand. There's the whole Armand side of things, too. There's a lot to Armand. There's things I got to find out. Okay. I get excited.
And by the way, I love how Eric is so excited. I just find him so endearing that he's like us. He really wants for us to know. Also, the whole teddy bear thing.
When a little kid has like a stuffed animal when they're very small and they just drag it around for like years and years and it only has one eye after a while and it's all torn up, and that's his approach to Daniel.
Well, this is the toy I used to have when I was 5. And I don't know if you can see it, but his legs have stitches. And the reason why they have stitches is because they used to have magnets. And I was such a beast that I destroyed them one by one. His name is Juan, by the way. But he's completely torn apart. Why is he completely torn apart? Because I used it. Teddy bears or toys that are not used are not broken. They just stay the same and get dirty. So for Eric's teddy bear metaphor to have an eyeball missing, I am guessing that the kid used that teddy bear a lot. Also, he says that he loves that teddy bear very much.
That's his idea of love.
It's tattered, it's broken, but it's mine.
It's happening, guys. It's happening. Now, after establishing that Devil's Minion absolutely happened during the 1970s, why did it stop? Because what happened? Well, in the books, we all know, if you're here, you're part of the fandom. In the books of Into the Beauty of the Vampire, it is told to us that Daniel was a junkie. He got hooked on Armand's blood, and thus couldn't kind of live without that blood. Gradually, Daniel became worse and worse, and then Armand had to transform him. We all know this. Obviously, in the TV show, that hasn't happened. Daniel grows old. But Armand does say in one moment that drugs did more damage to him than 5 days in San Francisco, which is very telling. The way Assad Saman chose to deliver that line.
My point made. You've a sharper mind as any human that walks.
This was your fault, I'm the victim here. Which, by the way, not at all, because you took a guy who was a junkie, gave him your blood. What did you think was gonna happen, exactly?
Merlin is a wonder, but the wonder is that he's such an idiot.
What I think happened was Daniel got too hooked. Armand got scared. He decided not to turn him. And unlike in the book, he just erased his memories, which is kind of what's been pinpointed at throughout the 2 seasons. This is a pretty obvious thing, right? But how are they gonna show us that during season 3? Because Armand thinks of himself as a victim here. He, when apologizing to Daniel, the belated apology number 2, he doesn't care about his actions because he doesn't find them bad. He doesn't find them evil. He thinks that he was in the right, that he made the right decision, that this was good for Eric, for Daniel. My gosh. How are they gonna show us what Armand feels when Daniel starts recovering his memories? Because I think that Armand wants for Daniel to remember. But I also think that he wants him to remember from his point of view. Like, okay, you had me, you lost me, I was great. I had to do this for you because you were becoming unbearable and you were being a risk to yourself, a danger to everyone. And meanwhile, Daniel's not this way. I'm really excited to see how they show that. Little comment here, by the way. This guy has been an actor for 200 years. He had the perfect example that he could follow when it came to playing real Rashid, fake Rashid, whatever. And still, he couldn't manage. Like, Rashid is modest. He never shows his cleavage. Rashid knows when to leave the room. Rashid never talks unless spoken to first. And Armand just takes all that and goes, I'm gonna do my own thing. And I just find it really funny that the guy who's like been a theater director cannot even follow a simple script because he has to be in charge of the narrative. He's that controlling. After saying that, my question here for him would be, what did you want to get out of the interview? Did you, because Armand's way more powerful than Louis, guys. He's 500 years old. Louis is barely 110, 112.
I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better.
What I mean is, had he wanted to stop this, he absolutely would have been able to. And in season 1, Armand says to Daniel that this is a suicide note, the thing that they're writing, that this is not going to have a happy ending for Louis. So why is he letting Louis do this if he knows how dangerous it could be to him? The more obvious answer would be that he wants to see Daniel one last time. But we saw in the last episode of season 2, we saw that Daniel is offered to stay for dinner.
Rashid, should we begin dinner preparations?
Yes, sir. I do hope you'll join us.
I'd be honored.
I don't know what that is. I think they wanted to turn him. Armand is against turning people. Okay, we know that. He hasn't done that for 500 years, and he didn't do it when he thought he was about to lose Daniel the first time. But now he's done it. What's this about? What happened? Now, I have my own theories. I'm pretty sure they're going to be showing this in season 3 because Samraid, I don't really know how to pronounce his name. Samraid said in one of his interviews,
how are we going to see the fallout from Armand play out in the present?
I think very satisfyingly.
Okay.
So this has already been hinted. We're going to be seeing this. There are 3 possible outcomes, right? Of how it could have happened. The first one would be the least possible one, in my opinion, and the one that Louis strangely believes in. You know what? I don't really care that I have made this oath that I've been following for 500 years. I hate this guy, and I'm just gonna make him into a vampire, you know? That is really not likely. Do you know the amount of enemies this guy has had? Do you know how terribly he's been treated? Daniel's like a drop in an ocean, and then he's gonna break his oath because of this? He didn't even... I don't believe this. The second possibility would be that this is a little bit more likely, that Daniel and Armand had some sort of a conversation after Louis left, and the conversation wasn't, hey, you and I used to date, I love you and I want us to be together forever.
How you doing?
But it is quite possible that Armand kind of offers him the possibility of becoming a vampire by signaling, hey, you have Parkinson's disease. There are many more things you don't know. I am offering you the possibility of time. And Daniel, while he would be asking himself, what is this guy's angle? I'm pretty sure he would take that. And there's the third option, which is Armand turning Daniel because he loves him, but without asking.
Just, I'm there. I take you into the floor, bite you, suck all of the blood out of your body, and then leave.
But I do it out of love.
I feel like that one is just as likely as the other one, because Armand is kind of, he's not a planner, guys. He panics, he acts, and then when things don't go the way he planned, he's like, oh, like, oh my gosh, I thought Louis was gonna turn you. Now nobody can turn you. I guess I have to do that on my own, and I'm not gonna ask you because I don't really care about your opinion and all of this. You think murder.
Does that mean that when I kill you, you will come back to life?
Yeah, you have to kill me.
Get to. It's all about perspective.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happened.
You are so inquisitive, my darling.
The clothing, guys. The clothing. It's amazing. I love the outfits. Whoever was in charge of them, kudos to you. You are amazing. I love what you did with Armand because you took him from rags to royalty.
Tell me this doesn't turn anybody on.
It doesn't turn anybody on.
I absolutely understand what's happening in the mind of the character. He's trying to poise himself as someone with dignity, someone with a position, even though he doesn't believe it. When Louis says he looked like a boy dressed like a man, I love that because Armand is actually 27 and he doesn't look like a boy at all. What Louis is trying to say is his clothes fit him, but I can see there's something underneath it. If I had to rank them, which I don't, but I will anyway, I would say that the first one's the white shirt, which is beautiful. He looks like a prince, honestly. He looks amazing. I want one. Please, a shirt. No.
Either way.
The second one, the waltz in. After the episode 5 where he's Eden Malik, he looks like a girl who's just gone outside for the first time in weeks because she was busy babysitting Louis and pretending to be a servant. And I'm happy for him because he deserved those calories.
Oh Lord, give me some.
And it's just such a mood when he's like, ha ha ha. And both of them are like, we hate you so much. Guys, the shades on this guy. The Malik shades. Did you know that I did not get that? The first time I watched, I had to go to the comments and to actually realize how much of a sadist this absolute bastard is. And number 3 would be probably the vest that he has when he's showing the art gallery to Louis and he's telling his life story. He has some embroidery in the back that I find extremely beautiful. I was just staring at it. So beautiful. I wasn't even hearing the whole terrible past because I was just, oh my god, he looks so cute here.
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment.
The story of Vampire Lestat is going to be talking about what actually happened between Armand and him. And I'm pretty sure that the things that Armand said are completely false because he's like that. He's a liar who lies. I don't actually believe in
anything he says.
Like, my question for this would be, did the thing with the coven actually happen? Like, was he actually in danger? Because we see in season 2 how amazingly strong he is. He can literally freeze his whole coven in the restaurant scene, and it takes him no effort. So the whole, I cannot prevent it, they forced me, humiliation after humiliation. Like, this has been his coven for 200 years, you guys. There's a reason why they follow him, and it's not that he has great leadership skills, is that they are terrified of him. Louis being in charge of him now isn't going to change the fact that they were completely submissive to him for 200 years, you know?
Liking what I like don't make me a bitch.
Oh, well, a helicopter. Wait.
Not the time, helicopter.
You know how they say that Armand is a panicker and not a planner. I think it kind of goes both ways. Like, he's 100% a planner in that he sees that things are about to go down, and he's like, okay, where do I want to be when things actually happen? Since he has to choose, he chooses the one with the greatest survival rates all the time. That's what he does all the time, which is his biggest mistake, probably. The fact that he doesn't trust that the people who love him actually do. Maybe he's learned that from a horrible experience. Nah, I don't think so. That did not happen at all. But he panics so much. The moment where Louis has just escaped the trials and he's kind of talking to cats and planning the whole murder trip, and Armand talks to him.
Did you save me at the trial?
Yes.
You can absolutely feel the pause where he goes, next question, number I don't really know anymore. How did Armand not know that real Rashid was TALAMASCA? I have a wild theory. You know how Armand let Sam live? Yeah, there's still the tiny, teeny little thing that he knows the truth. Sam knows that Armand was in charge of orchestrating the whole killing of Claudia and Louis. So, as long as somebody knows that truth, somebody who can talk, Armand's future with Louis would always be in danger. He knows for a fact that Sam is a DJ who wears a helmet for some reason, but he never went after him. Why? Why that is, you know? Because maybe he knew that Sam was TALAMASCA. Maybe there's some kind of like favors for favors exchange, you know? A kind of, okay, you know many of my secrets, and I know many of yours, and I can hurt you a lot. So maybe I allow for this guy to give the information that is suitable for me, and he is kind of like a double agent who works for me as well as for you. I do think that there's some kind of truce between him and the TALAMASCA up until the reveal. It would explain many things. It's all I'm saying. That's it for the past. Now let's go to the future. Next question is Marius. Marius. I'm really excited to see him because the actor who plays it is the same one that played Aro in Twilight. And I think that it's a really smart and funny choice that they made when casting him. The question for Armand here is, does he know that Marius is alive during Interview with the Vampire seasons 1 and 2? Because we know that in the 70s he did not. But in Dubai, we don't actually know what he thinks. And if he doesn't know, are we ready for how pissed off he's gonna be when he realizes that his maker not only did the horrible things he did to him, but also left him in the hands of that horrible cult for 200 years. And then, after the whole thing had already been destroyed, still didn't come back for him? Even though he was in a Parisian coven, being in a theater of vampires, which was completely safe for Marius to go to. Like, not even a note?
How are you? My name is.
And Assad the man has already said.
What's Armand doing this season?
Yeah.
Armand's pissed off.
I just really want to see his reaction when he sees Marius. I really do. Oof, it's gonna be great. Now, the purpose of Armand during this season. That is, like, what's gonna be his role? What does he want? So, in the book of Vampire Lestat, the most we see of Armand is the explanations of what happened. Like, what actually occurred. The events that actually happened, instead of the fanfiction that Armand wrote so that he could put himself above everybody else. But here, in the teaser trailer, we haven't really seen a lot of Armand, and the only 2 frames we have of him are those where he has present-day clothes on. So he's in the present, and he's pissed off. What is he trying to do? Does he want revenge on Lestat? Does he want forgiveness from Louis? Does he want forgiveness from Lestat? As for Daniel, what does Armand want from Daniel? Because the insane yet beautiful yet insane fandom that we are, there are many pictures out there taken while Eric and Assad were trying to do their jobs. They are talking in parks. The only thing we know here, out of all of the things we don't know of Armand in this season, the only thing we do know about what he's gonna be doing is he's gonna be having a conversation with Daniel. What is this conversation about? What does he want from him? Looking at the pictures, that there doesn't seem to be all that tension there, but maybe they're just the actors talking. I don't know. What's happening? Maybe Armand tries to get Daniel on his side. Not very likely, by the way, in order to like fight against the Lestat situation so that he can get his way a little bit. That's a possibility. Maybe Daniel has questions and he's kind of like stalking him all around the world. I don't know. I want to know. I read a post on Instagram, I think, that said that Brandom Field was going to be his own spoiler, because if we were to see him, then we would know that there's going to be some Devil's Minion 1970s. But Brandom Field has been extremely discreet. Not even our best stalkers have been able to take a picture of this, so we don't actually know whether if he's going to be back or not. My take is that hell yeah, it's going to happen, because, as I said before, Eric Bogosian hinted to the fact that there are going to be memories he's going to be recovering. And for him to be recovering memories, we need Luke. So I'm really excited for that. I think that the thing they're going to be showing us is the hunting. Like the 2 years where Daniel was just running around screaming, homeless, poor, without any money or food. And Armand was just, hey, can you call Paris for me? I'm really bored today.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Armand must have been so unhinged during those 2 years. He's usually unhinged, but he pretends not to be. But back then, he had nothing. He had no reason to pretend. This was just some foolish 20-year-old kid who he was gonna kill. And last but not least, something I was reflecting on. Does Armand even love any of them? Assad once said that Armand's love for Louis isn't actually like a real love.
I think Armand sees Louis as a vessel for how he can change Armand, how he can sort of enrich Armand's life.
It's all about Armand. It's not about Louis. That is not actually love. His love is messed up. As for Lestat, I don't actually know what happened. We'll have to see if he did love him. They have Sam and Assad some kind of like interaction where like it almost looks like Lestat feels sorry for Armand. Like he's like, you screwed up so big this time, man. For Lestat, to sum up, I'm not sure whether if he does love him or not. We'll have to see. For Daniel, though, he's very possessive. He doesn't feel sorry for what he did to Daniel. He thinks like what he did was good for him. Like he kind of saved his life. He gave him the possibility of getting married and having daughters and having a great journalistic life. But the truth is, maybe Daniel would have never chosen that life for himself. So, to sum up, many questions, many possible outcomes. I don't actually know what Armand's going to be doing this season. I'm really excited to find out. And yeah, that's about it. I have 2 exams tomorrow that I should study for. So I'm going to go and do that now. And yeah, see you guys for the next video. Bye-bye.